In the darkness of space, Zilara's heart hardened. If humanity wanted to treat her as a foe, then she would become one. The betrayal ran deep, and the seeds of vengeance began to grow. Earth would soon learn the consequences of their actions. The unexpected war had begun, and Zilara was ready to return, not as a friend, but as a powerful enemy seeking revenge. The shattering betrayal. Zilara sat in the command chamber of her ship, the Vortexian star, staring out at the endless expanse of space. The stars twinkled like diamonds, but they offered her no comfort. She felt an ache in her heart, a sense of loss that weighed heavily on her spirit. The people of Earth had turned against her, and all she had wanted was to bring peace and friendship. Dr. Alex Parker stood beside her, his expression filled with concern. "Zilara, we can't give up. We have to show them the truth," he urged, but deep down, he knew how hard it would be. Zilara shook her head. "How can I trust them again? They rejected me without even knowing me. Lucas poisoned their minds with lies." Her voice trembled with emotion. As the ship soared through the stars, she remembered her first days on Earth, filled with hope and excitement. The laughter they shared and the wonders they discovered together now felt like a distant dream. Lucas's voice echoed in her mind. "She is here to take over our planet." Suddenly, the ship's alarm blared, snapping her from her thoughts. "Zilara, we are being tracked," Alex shouted. "It seems Lucas has sent ships to follow us." Her heart raced. "What does he want?" "Control," Alex replied, anger flaring in his eyes. "He wants to capture you, to prove he was right all along." Zilara clenched her fists, the betrayal igniting a fire within her. "He will not take me. Prepare for battle." As the ships closed in, Zilara activated the ship's defenses. The Vortexian star was equipped with advanced technology, designed to protect her from threats. She glanced at the monitors, watching as the enemy ships took formation, weapons primed for attack. The first blast hit her shields, rattling the ship. "Return fire," she commanded, her voice steady despite the chaos unfolding around them. The ship responded, unleashing a barrage of energy blasts that illuminated the darkness of space. Zilara's hands moved swiftly over the controls, her heart pounding in sync with the explosions. Alex fought beside her, relaying commands and tracking enemy positions. Together, they worked as a team, fueled by determination and the need for survival. As the battle raged on, Zilara couldn't help but think about the humans she had tried to trust. They had betrayed her, and now Lucas was determined to hunt her down. The anger surged within her, fueling her resolve. "Zilara, we need to escape," Alex shouted as another blast rocked the ship. "We can't fight them all." "No," Zilara replied fiercely. "I will not run. I will show them the consequences of their betrayal." With a flick of her wrist, she launched a powerful counterattack, targeting the lead enemy ship. The blast struck with precision, causing it to spiral out of control and explode in a brilliant flash. Alex watched in awe as Zilara's fierce spirit shone through. He had never seen her like this, fighting not just for her life, but for her honor. "You're incredible," he exclaimed, but she barely acknowledged him. The battle continued, the Vortexian star dodging blasts and returning fire. Zilara's focus narrowed to a single goal: defeat Lucas's fleet and escape into the depths of space. But as the battle wore on, Zilara began to realize the toll it was taking on her. The joy she once felt when exploring Earth had transformed into a deep-seated rage. The faces of those who had welcomed her now twisted into expressions of fear and anger. She was no longer the friendly diplomat. She was a warrior, fighting for survival. Finally, after what felt like an eternity, the remaining enemy ships retreated. Zilara breathed a sigh of relief, but it was short-lived. The weight of her actions pressed heavily on her shoulders. She had fought against her own kind, and in that moment, she realized the war had changed her. "Zilara, we did it," Alex said, a hint of pride in his voice. But Zilara could only nod, her heart heavy. "We may have won this battle, but the war is far from over," she said quietly. As they sailed away from the battlefield, Zilara looked back at the fading lights of Earth. She knew the humans would not stop searching for her. Lucas would rally his forces, determined to destroy her once and for all. But she also knew that she would not return as the kind diplomat they once welcomed. The betrayal had awakened something deep inside her, a need for vengeance. If the humans wanted a war, she would give them one they would never forget. With determination hardening in her heart, Zilara made a vow. She would return to Earth, not as a friend, but as a powerful enemy. The unexpected war had begun, and soon, humanity would feel the full force of her wrath. The gathering storm. After the battle, Zilara stood on the observation deck of the Vortexian star, staring at the swirling colors of space. The defeat of Lucas's fleet had ignited something fierce within her, a burning need for revenge. The stars around her seemed to pulse with the same energy, urging her to act. "Zilara," Alex said gently, stepping beside her. "We need a plan. Lucas will come after us. He won't stop." Zilara turned to him, her eyes fierce and determined. "I know. I want to gather allies, to create a force strong enough to challenge him. He betrayed me, but I will not let him destroy everything I hold dear." Alex nodded, impressed by her resolve. "But where do we find these allies? Many worlds may fear joining your cause." She gazed into the void, remembering her journey through the galaxy. "I have friends among the other alien races. If they hear my story, they will understand. I can't fight this battle alone." As they plotted their course, Zilara sent a distress signal to her allies in the nearby systems. She reached out to the Thalorians, known for their strength and advanced technology. They had been allies of her people before, and she hoped they would answer her call. Days passed, and Zilara's ship traveled through the galaxy, gathering information and sending messages. Each system they visited brought new challenges and dangers, but Zilara's spirit remained unyielded. Finally, she received a response from the Thalorians. A ship, the Thalorian Sentinel, was on its way to meet them. Zilara felt a surge of hope. With their help, they could take on Lucas's forces together. When the Thalorian Sentinel arrived, Zilara stood at the docking bay, waiting anxiously. The ship landed smoothly, and a tall figure emerged, clad in silver armor. Commander Yara, the leader of the Thalorians, approached with a stern expression. "Zilara," she greeted with a nod. "I received your message. I come prepared for battle. But tell me, why should we fight alongside you?" Zilara took a deep breath, her heart racing. "I was betrayed by the humans I once called friends. They turned their backs on me and sought to destroy me. If we don't unite against this threat, Lucas will conquer not just my people but yours as well." Yara studied her closely. Betrayal is a bitter seed. Many fear the humans, but they must know the truth. "I will stand by you, but we need more allies." Zilara's determination flared. "Then let us send messages to other systems. We will show them that the humans are a threat to all races." With a fierce resolve, they set to work, sending out communications to every corner of the galaxy. Slowly, one by one, allies began to respond. The Drakari, known for their fierce warriors, and the Myrians, with their advanced technology, pledged their support. As their coalition grew, Zilara felt the weight of leadership upon her. She was no longer just an alien princess. She was a general leading an army against a common enemy. However, as the days turned into weeks, she faced another challenge: her heart. The memories of her time on Earth haunted her. She remembered the laughter, the warmth of friendship, and the love she once shared with Alex. Could she really turn her back on that? One night, while the ship sailed through the stars, Zilara found herself alone with Alex. "I never wanted it to come to this," she confessed, her voice barely above a whisper. "I wanted to be their friend." Alex placed a comforting hand on her shoulder. "You did your best, Zilara, but they chose to betray you. You can't change their hearts, but you can change the future for your people." His words offered her strength, but deep inside, a part of her still longed for the connection she had once felt with humanity. "What if I can't do this? What if the anger consumes me?" Alex met her gaze, his eyes sincere. "Then remember who you are. You are strong, and your people believe in you. You must channel this anger into something greater." With newfound clarity, Zilara straightened her shoulders. She would honor her past, but would not be defined by it. The betrayal would be her fuel, transforming her grief into power. As the days passed, Zilara and her allies prepared for war. They practiced strategies and honed their skills, each training session binding them closer together. Finally, the day came when they would face Lucas's forces. Zilara stood on the bridge of the Vortexian star, her heart pounding with anticipation. She looked around at her allies, their faces determined and fierce. "Today, we fight not just for ourselves, but for every being who has faced betrayal. Together, we will show Lucas the strength of our unity," she declared, her voice ringing with conviction. Cheers erupted from the crew, filling Zilara with pride. She felt the weight of responsibility, but now it was a weight she embraced. As they set their course toward Earth, Zilara looked out at the stars, knowing that the battle ahead would test their limits. But she was ready. The storm was gathering, and it would unleash a fury that Lucas would never forget. With her allies by her side, Zilara prepared for the fight of her life, a fight that would determine the fate of Earth and all the beings who called it home. The unexpected war had transformed into a gathering storm, and soon it would break the battle for Earth. The Vortexian star soared through the black void of space, the bridge humming with the energy of anticipation. Zilara stood at the helm, her heart racing as they approached Earth. This was the moment she had been preparing for, her chance to confront Lucas and reclaim her honor. The weight of her allies' expectations rested heavily on her shoulders, but she steeled herself. She would not let them down. "Commander Zilara, we are nearing Earth's orbit," the navigation officer reported. The massive blue planet loomed ahead, beautiful yet treacherous. Zilara turned to her crew, who were bustling around the control panels. "Prepare the fleet. We must strike hard and fast. We cannot give Lucas a chance to regroup." The alliance consisted of her Vortexian warriors, the fierce Drakari, and the technologically advanced Mirians. Each species had come together for a common cause, to face the betrayal of humanity and reclaim their dignity. As the ships aligned, Zilara took a deep breath, remembering the friends she once had on Earth. She pushed those memories aside, focusing on the mission ahead. "We attack at my signal. Stay sharp and follow my lead." The crew nodded, their expressions a mix of determination and excitement. Zilara's heart thumped as she gave the command. Now. The Vortexian star and its allied fleet surged forward, firing lasers and missiles at the defenses surrounding Earth. Bright flashes lit up the darkness of space as the ships engaged in battle. Zilara felt the rush of adrenaline as they fought together, united in their shared goal. "Commander, enemy ships are responding," yelled Alex from the tactical console. "Lucas is deploying his fleet." Zilara's eyes narrowed as she spotted the familiar vessels that had once fought alongside her. Now they were her enemies. "Rally the forces. We need to take out their command ship first." The battle raged on, explosions echoing through the void. Zilara directed her fleet, weaving in and out of enemy fire. The air on the bridge crackled with tension as they fought against the odds. As they moved closer to Lucas's command ship, Zilara felt a surge of resolve. This was not just about revenge. It was about standing for her people, showing them that they could overcome betrayal. Suddenly, a warning alarm blared. "Zilara, we're taking heavy fire," Alex shouted. The ship shuddered, and Zilara braced herself against the console. "Return fire. We can't let them gain the upper hand." But just as they began to fight back, a massive beam of energy shot through space, striking the Vortexian star. Zilara was thrown back, and darkness swarmed around her. When she regained her senses, she struggled to her feet, her head spinning. "Status report," she demanded, shaking off the disorientation. "Shields are down. We've lost several crew members." Alex shouted, urgency lacing his voice. "We need to retreat, Zilara. We can't hold on much longer." "No," Zilara roared, anger bubbling within her. "We will not retreat. We will fight." With renewed vigor, she took command once more. She could see Lucas's flagship looming ahead, and the anger inside her fueled her determination. She had come too far to back down now. "Focus fire on Lucas's command ship," she ordered. "We take him down, and the rest will follow." Her fleet rallied around her, pouring their firepower into the flagship. The Vortexian star danced through the chaos, dodging blasts and retaliating with everything they had. As they neared Lucas's ship, Zilara felt a mix of emotions: anger, sorrow, and a deep sense of purpose. Lucas had betrayed her, but he would not break her. She would show him the strength of her resolve. Suddenly, the command ship erupted in a brilliant explosion, signaling their victory. The remaining enemy ships faltered, their morale shattered. Zilara felt a surge of triumph, but it was quickly overshadowed by the weight of what had transpired. "We did it," Alex shouted, joy brightening his eyes. "We've won." Zilara stood still, her heart heavy. Yes, they had won, but at what cost? She had come to destroy, to avenge, but now she saw the consequences of war, the lives lost, and the destruction wrought. As the dust settled, Zilara looked at the wreckage of the battle. She saw ships drifting, some on fire, and others damaged beyond repair. Each one represented lives lost, and for a moment, doubt crept in. "Commander Zilara," Alex said gently, pulling her from her thoughts. "What do we do now?" Zilara straightened, finding her voice. "We must reach out to those who survive. This war cannot define us. We will help rebuild and create a new alliance, one based on trust and understanding." She realized that her battle was not just against Lucas, but against the cycle of hatred and revenge. She wanted to create a future where peace reigned, not just for her people but for all who inhabited the galaxy. As they turned their ship back toward the remnants of the Earth fleet, Zilara made a silent vow. She would ensure that their next steps would be toward healing and unity, not just revenge. The war had changed her, but it had also brought hope. Together with her allies, Zilara would face whatever came next, ready to forge a new path in a galaxy forever altered by betrayal and the quest for redemption. With determination in her heart, she prepared for the next phase of their journey, one that would lead them toward a brighter future. As they moved closer to Lucas's command ship, Zilara felt a surge of resolve. This was not just about revenge. It was about standing for her people, showing them that they could overcome betrayal. Suddenly, a warning alarm blared. "Zilara, we're taking heavy fire," Alex shouted. The ship shuddered, and Zilara braced herself against the console. "Return fire. We can't let them gain the upper hand." But just as they began to fight back, a massive beam of energy shot through space, striking the Vortexian star. Zilara was thrown back, and darkness swarmed around her. When she regained her senses, she struggled to her feet, her head spinning. "Status report," she demanded, shaking off the disorientation. "Shields are down. We've lost several crew members." Alex shouted, urgency lacing his voice. "We need to retreat, Zilara. We can't hold on much longer." "No," Zilara roared, anger bubbling within her. "We will not retreat. We will fight." With renewed vigor, she took command once more. She could see Lucas's flagship looming ahead, and the anger inside her fueled her determination. She had come too far to back down now. "Focus fire on Lucas's command ship," she ordered. "We take him down, and the rest will follow." Her fleet rallied around her, pouring their firepower into the flagship. The Vortexian star danced through the chaos, dodging blasts and retaliating with everything they had. As they neared Lucas's ship, Zilara felt a mix of emotions: anger, sorrow, and a deep sense of purpose. Lucas had betrayed her, but he would not break her. She would show him the strength of her resolve. Suddenly, the command ship erupted in a brilliant explosion, signaling their victory. The remaining enemy ships faltered, their morale shattered. Zilara felt a surge of triumph, but it was quickly overshadowed by the weight of what had transpired. "We did it," Alex shouted, joy brightening his eyes. "We've won." Zilara stood still, her heart heavy. Yes, they had won, but at what cost? She had come to destroy, to avenge, but now she saw the consequences of war, the lives lost and the destruction wrought. As the dust settled, Zilara looked at the wreckage of the battle. She saw ships drifting, some on fire, and others damaged beyond repair. Each one represented lives lost, and for a moment, doubt crept in. "Commander Zilara," Alex said gently, pulling her from her thoughts. "What do we do now?" Zilara straightened, finding her voice. "We must reach out to those who survive. This war cannot define us. We will help rebuild and create a new alliance, one based on trust and understanding." She realized that her battle was not just against Lucas, but against the cycle of hatred and revenge. She wanted to create a future where peace reigned, not just for her people, but for all who inhabited the galaxy. As they turned their ship back toward the remnants of the Earth fleet, Zilara made a silent vow. She would ensure that their next steps would be toward healing and unity, not just revenge. The war had changed her, but it had also brought hope. Together with her allies, Zilara would face whatever came next, ready to forge a new path in a galaxy forever altered by betrayal and the quest for redemption. Sharing technology, establishing communication channels, and even creating joint security forces to prevent future conflicts. As the meeting progressed, Zilara felt a glimmer of hope. Perhaps this was the beginning of a new era, one where trust could replace betrayal. It wouldn't be easy, but if they could find common ground, they might just be able to heal the wounds of the past. Hours later, as the meeting concluded, Zilara looked at Lucas and the other leaders. "This is only the beginning. We must stay vigilant, and we must communicate openly. Trust will take time to rebuild, but together, we can achieve great things." Lucas nodded, a small smile forming on his lips. "We'll make it work, Zilara. I promise." As the leaders left the conference room, Zilara turned to her crew. "Today, we chose the path of peace. Let's work hard to ensure that this choice leads to a brighter future for all of us." With newfound determination, Zilara felt the weight of responsibility settle upon her. She was not just an alien princess. She was a leader striving for unity. As they began to forge a new alliance, she could finally see the light of hope flickering in the distance. Together, they would build a better tomorrow. With determination in her heart, she prepared for the next phase of their journey, one that would lead them toward a brighter future, the reckoning. Zilara stood on the bridge of the Vortexian star, her heart heavy with the aftermath of the battle. The once vibrant blue planet of Earth was now marred with smoke and flames, a grim reminder of the conflict that had erupted between her people and humanity. Though they had emerged victorious, the price paid weighed heavily on her shoulders. "Commander," Alex called, pulling Zilara from her thoughts. "We've received a transmission from the surviving Earth ships. They want to negotiate." Zilara's pulse quickened. She had anticipated this moment, but now doubt crept in. Could she truly negotiate peace after the destruction they had caused? "Put it on screen," she said, forcing herself to meet this challenge head-on. The main screen flickered to life, revealing a human figure standing in the command center of a damaged Earth ship. Lucas's face was gaunt, his eyes filled with a mixture of anger and resignation. "Zilara," he said, his voice steady but strained. "We need to talk." "Indeed, we do," Zilara replied, her voice firm. "But understand this. Your betrayal has consequences. Many lives have been lost because of your actions. I know, Lucas admitted, his shoulders sagging. I never wanted this. We were friends once, Zilara. But you must see that we acted out of fear. We thought you would conquer us, not coexist. Your fear led to betrayal and war, Zilara replied, feeling her anger simmered just below the surface. You had a choice, Lucas. You could have trusted me. Perhaps, he conceded, his gaze dropping. But the past is behind us. If we are to rebuild, we must work together. I propose a meeting, a ceasefire. Zilara glanced at her crew, who were watching intently, their expressions a mix of hope and skepticism. And why should I trust you again? She asked, crossing her arms. Because, Lucas said, his voice gaining strength, I want to make amends. We both know that this cycle of violence must end. We can create a new alliance, one where both our peoples can thrive. Zilara contemplated his words. A part of her wanted to reject him outright, to deny him any chance of redemption. But another part, the part that still believed in the possibility of peace, urged her to consider it. Very well, she said slowly. But I want the leaders of your remaining ships present. They must see the truth of what has happened here. Lucas nodded, relief washing over his face. I will arrange it. Thank you, Zilara. This is a chance for us all. As the transmission ended, Zilara turned to her crew. Prepare for the meeting. We must approach this with caution. Our victory has not erased the damage done. The next few hours were a flurry of activity. The Vortexian star was made ready for the meeting, with security measures set in place to prevent any surprise attacks. Zilara could feel the tension in the air as her crew prepared for what could be a pivotal moment in their shared history. Finally, the time arrived. The Earth ships approached cautiously, their hulls damaged but still intact. Zilara stood at the head of the conference table, flanked by her trusted advisors. Lucas entered the room, flanked by several human leaders. Tension crackled in the air as they took their seats, each side sizing up the other. Thank you for coming, Zilara said, her voice steady. We are here today to discuss the future of our peoples. Lucas cleared his throat, his eyes scanning the room. We all know why we're here. The recent conflict has shown us the dangers of misunderstanding. We must find a way to coexist. One of the human leaders, a stern-looking woman named Commander Hart, spoke up. You destroyed our defenses. You attacked our homes. Why should we trust you? Zilara felt a surge of frustration, but took a deep breath, reminding herself of their shared goal. I do not deny our actions. We came to protect ourselves from betrayal, but we must learn from this. Revenge will only lead to more suffering. A tense silence filled the room, and Zilara could feel the weight of their collective history bearing down on them. But then Lucas spoke again, his voice softer. Zilara is right. We cannot change the past, but we can build a better future. Let us work together to ensure that no one else suffers because of fear and misunderstanding. Slowly, the room began to shift. Ideas flowed as they discussed plans for cooperation. The Fragile Alliance. In the weeks following the historic meeting, the atmosphere aboard the Vortexian star shifted. Zilara had been busy overseeing the integration of human and Vortexian technologies, a process fraught with challenges. Her heart swelled with hope, but doubts lingered in her mind. Would this fragile alliance truly endure? Zilara stood on the bridge, gazing out at the stars. The vastness of space was both beautiful and intimidating. She thought about Earth and the many lives affected by the recent conflict. Would they ever fully recover? Her thoughts were interrupted when Alex, her trusted advisor, entered the room. Commander, we have a situation, he said, his brow furrowed with concern. A human ship has gone missing near the asteroid belt. We received a distress signal moments ago, but it stopped abruptly. Zilara's heart raced. We need to send a search party immediately. If the ship is in trouble, we cannot waste time. Alex nodded, quickly relaying orders to the crew. Within minutes, they were preparing a small team for the mission. Zilara, determined to prove the strength of their new alliance, decided to join the search herself. As they approached the location of the distress signal, Zilara could feel the tension in the air. The asteroid belt was dense, and navigating through it required skill and caution. "Stay alert," she instructed the crew. "We need to be prepared for anything." The ship weaved in and out of asteroids, and Zilara's heart raced with anticipation. There. Alex pointed to a ship half hidden among the rocks. That must be the missing human vessel. They maneuvered closer and found the ship, but it appeared to be severely damaged. The hull was scorched, and smoke billowed from various compartments. "Prepare to dock," Zilara commanded. "We need to see if anyone is alive." The Vortexian star made contact with the human vessel, and Zilara led a small team aboard. The interior was dark and silent, with flickering emergency lights casting eerie shadows on the walls. Zilara felt a chill run down her spine as they made their way through the ship, searching for survivors. Suddenly, they heard a groan from the cockpit. Zilara rushed forward, her heart pounding. Inside, they found a human pilot, injured but alive. "Help! Me!" he gasped, clutching his side. "Get him on the med team," Zilara ordered, and her crew quickly sprang into action, lifting the injured pilot carefully. As they transported him back to the Vortexian star, Zilara's mind raced with questions. What had happened to this ship? Was it an accident, or was there something more sinister at play? Once they were safely aboard her ship, Zilara turned her attention to the pilot. "What happened?" she asked, her voice steady. The pilot winced in pain but managed to speak. "We were on a supply run when we were attacked by unknown ships. They came out of nowhere, firing on us before we could react. I tried to send a distress signal, but..." He trailed off, his eyes filled with fear. "Unknown ships," Zilara repeated, a sense of dread creeping into her gut. "Did you see who was attacking you?" "No, they were cloaked, but I think they were using advanced technology," the pilot replied, struggling to stay conscious. "I barely escaped." Zilara exchanged glances with Alex, who looked equally concerned. "We need to alert the humans about this. If there are hostile forces out there targeting us, we are at risk of losing everything we have worked for." As the med team tended to the pilot, Zilara and Alex quickly gathered the leaders of both the human and Vortexian forces. They needed to come together to face this new threat. Within the hour, they convened in the command room. Lucas and Commander Hart arrived, their expressions grim. "What do we know?" Lucas asked, taking the seat. Zilara explained the situation. A human ship was attacked, and the pilot spoke of cloaked vessels. "We cannot ignore this threat. If we are to survive, we must work together." Commander Hart leaned forward. "We need to establish a joint task force to investigate this. We cannot allow fear to divide us again. Our alliance is fragile, and we need to show our people that we stand united." The room buzzed with urgency as they discussed strategies. Zilara felt a sense of camaraderie building among the leaders. They were all aware that this was a pivotal moment for their alliance. If they failed to act, the consequences could be dire. "Let's deploy scouts to monitor the asteroid belt," Zilara suggested. "If these cloaked ships are lurking there, we need to find out their intentions before they strike again." Lucas nodded, his determination evident. "I'll coordinate with my fleet. We will combine our resources and create a watchful perimeter around the area." The leaders discussed their plans late into the night, formulating a strategy that combined Vortexian technology and human ingenuity. Zilara could see the fire in their eyes, a renewed sense of purpose uniting them against a common enemy. As the meeting concluded, Zilara felt a sense of hope wash over her. They were no longer just an alien princess and a group of humans. They were allies, working together to face whatever lay ahead. As she returned to her quarters, Zilara knew the path forward would not be easy. But with every challenge they faced, they grew stronger. The shadows of their past no longer loomed as large as before. Together, they would confront this threat and prove that their alliance could withstand anything. The fight for their future had only just begun.